Before I begin, I do want to inform you that I go hard and real with what I'm about to say on this episode. If you cannot handle the truth, my sense of humor, sarcasm, and explicit language, then I advise you to not listen. This episode will contain words that may be triggering and may have graphic details, so please listen per your description. Without further ado, sit back and enjoy. Welcome back to another episode of yours truly. It is I, your one and only host, Druelee, of course. I know that the past weekend has been testing my mental stability. It's been testing me, my energy, everything. And all I gotta say that, you know what? A lot of things can shoot me right through me or right into me or whatever you want to call it. But you know what? At the end of the day, I rise up from it. And, you know, I'm not going to let a little bitty ass bullet shoot me in the heart and then, you know, die for days. No, I'm not going to let that happen to me. So on this episode, I will be talking about dealing with all of those negative Nancys and negative Nates. Now, if your name starts with Nancy or if your name starts with Nate, no, I'm not talking about you guys. If you haven't noticed, I like to, create little characters on my podcast. I don't want to name people because their name is not irrelevant in my podcast or any of my episodes. So this is another disclaimer. If you happen to stumble upon this episode and you feel a certain type of way and it's triggering you, then maybe you are the negative Nancys. Maybe you are the negative Nates. Who knows? But I'm just telling you guys what I've been through and how I became a lot stronger person dealing with people who are just so negative. Like I mentioned, this past week has been testing me, and even before this past week, like months before, let me start by saying that as you put yourself out there into the public, you're not the type of person that has ever done that in your life. You don't show yourself out in the public. You're kept to yourself, your homebody. You are an introvert and you're not an extrovert. So you'd rather just stay in your own little bubble. But as soon as you happen to put yourself out there in social media, into the public, there's a lot of people that are very fucking negative. My thing is that if you are a type of person that has always put yourself out there in the public, that's you. If you're the type of person that just started doing social media, started creating content, putting yourself out there into the world, chances are there's going to be a lot of negative ass people that have so much shit to say about you. So for example, okay, I was going to do like a mini episode about this, but I just feel like this has to be its own episode because I just have so much to say about all the negative Nancys and all the negative Nates. I've had some comments that has mentioned to me saying that people listen to my podcast and there are times where people will say that, I am that woman that talks shit about her in-laws and that they wouldn't want to date me because what happens if I talk shit about them? What happens if I talk shit about their parents? There's another comment that has said something about like, I did an episode on Good Girls Finish Last where I talked about my experience with Lost Boy. One of the negative Nancys mentioned that, why would I put him on blast and why would I talk about the size of his dick, which I don't think I ever said anything about the size of his dick. That nobody needs to know, okay? And she mentioned that, okay, then why would you put him on blast while you're not even putting yourself on blast? My thing is that, at the end of the day, this is my podcast, okay? I could say whatever the fuck I want to say. I could put whatever I want to put in my podcast, in my episode. This is my view, what I've been through. I repeat myself numerous of times each episode, trying to make people understand where I'm coming from. There's going to be people that would not understand, and that's just part of putting yourself out there. That's just part of creating content. People are not going to understand you. People are going to nitpick all the negative things. People are going to judge you. And I already knew what I signed up for when I started this podcast. Because at first I wasn't going to create this podcast at all. You know, because I knew in the back of my head that I will face a lot of negative comments. There's going to be a lot of people that's going to hate what I have to say. They're not going to support what I am saying and doing. And all I'm doing is just spreading awareness. All I'm doing is just putting myself out there, putting my experience out there, because eventually there are people out there that have experienced the same thing as I've experienced. And although they don't contact me, if they don't post comments, or they are one of those silent viewers or supporters, that's totally fine. My objective or my purpose of this podcast is, like I said, to just bring awareness, to talk about taboo topics that nobody ever fucking wants to talk about, to dive deep into people's personal life and to discover what they got out of it. I'm not going to sugarcoat shit. This is the real shit. And if you cannot handle the truth, like I always have my disclaimer in the beginning, you don't have to listen to this episode or this podcast at all. You're free to just click off, you know, but I do want to say thank you for the view and thank you for the comments, because without that, I wouldn't be a stronger person. And, you know, people will shoot a whole bunch of bullets on me. And yes, it does sting. It does hurt. Because when I read those negative comments, you know, I do feel really hurt. You know, I feel bad about it, you know, but guess what? I make those negative comments into a positive thing. It just encourages me to push out more content, to talk a whole lot more about these topics. And, you know, it's not going to stop me from doing what I'm doing. It's just going to encourage me to do a whole lot better and to push out more. And if you don't like it, you don't have to listen. And also, sometimes you think that your close friends and family also support you in what you do. And I do have to say that when shit goes down and, you know, things happen in your life where you agree and disagree, or something just happened in your life, you know, sometimes your closest family and your closest friends, they don't really support you at all. They say that they do, but then when you actually get into an issue, they tend to pretty much show the true color about you. I'm not going to go into details, but all I have to say is that, you know, when you think that your friends and your families or just people that knows you say that they support you and they encourage you to do all this stuff, but when you have any disagreement or an issue that happen between you and this other person, they tend to lash out on you. They tend to cuss at you. They tend to hurt you with a whole bunch of stupid shit. They say that you use your platform to bring attention or get attention from the public. They say that you're so full of insecurities that you rather just put yourself out there. They just say a whole bunch of stuff that you would think that they would never say that. And it just makes me see things clearer, you know? And I get it. I get that, you know, maybe this person is going through their own little personal problem behind closed door, and they can't handle their own issues. And the only way that they can lash off on anyone is you, because you happen to be in their way. I don't know, but all I have to say is that the platform that I created for myself, I'm not trying to bring no attention to nobody. I'm not trying to show off. And, you know, everybody has their own insecurities. The only difference is that I'm willing to admit that, you're not willing to admit it. And that's why you're saying all these shit to me. And so with that being said, I mean, I can go all day just venting about negative Nancy's and Nates, you know, but here's what I learned about when it comes to dealing with negative people. So I have 7 things, okay? The first thing is, don't take the comments too personal. When you take the comments too personal, you're just end up arguing with them, and there's just no fucking point. take it as if they're just bitching at you for no fucking reason. And I realize that when I get into an argument with someone, I don't take their shit too personal, because you know what I think? I think that it's a problem between themselves, and that they're just saying all those negative things to you because that's how they feel about themselves, but they rather just say it to you. Number 2, let them vent and validate their thoughts and emotions. Like I said, maybe they're having a hard time with their personal life and they're not telling you, you know, because for me, it's like if I get into an argument with you and you're saying a whole bunch of shit that it's not me, it makes me think that, oh, so you're referring to yourself, but you're just saying it to me because we're having our own little disagreement here. So for me, what I did was I'm going to let this person vent. I'm going to let them validate their thoughts and their emotions, make them, you know, have their stage. And if they want to do that, go right ahead. Number 3, there's no point arguing with them. Why waste your time trying to let them understand where you're coming from? If you're the type of person that you can empathize and you can understand that person's shoes, you can wear their shoes for a day and you understand where they're coming from, and they're not willing to understand where you're coming from, and it's always them, it's their way, there's nobody way, and if it's not their way, then they're gonna bitch about it, then let them have it. Do not waste your breath repeating yourself over and over again. It's not gonna get you anywhere, because the person that you're arguing with, they're not willing to see your side, because they're very selfish like that. They're very selfish, and they don't give a fuck about anybody but themselves. Number 4, hit them with kindness. If they're going to, you know, say a whole bunch of shitty stuff to you just to hurt you back because I guess supposedly what you said hurt them, you know what you need to do? Just hit them back with kindness. Agree with them. Tell them that you love them. Tell them that, you know, it's okay. Tell them that let's meet. Let's work out on this solution, this issues. You know, be nice. Be kind to them, because you know why? They hate it when you're kind. They hate it that whatever they're saying to you, you're unfazed. You're not bothered by what they're saying. Because when you hit them with kindness, they can't do shit. That's what I learned. Like, seriously, it works. It works. So if you're trying to argue with somebody else, just look at them in the face, smile, and say, okay. And they say, okay, I love you. I love you. What else you want me to do? You know, so I would just do that. Number 5, let them reach out to you first. So before you end your argument, have it to where you are opening your doors to them. Even if they're so mad at you that they don't want to talk to you or they don't want to see you, let them know that, you know, whenever you're ready, then let me know so that we can sit down and talk about this. And because you are willing to sit down and talk to them about this, it's up to them if they want to reach out and talk to you. Don't be the one to insert yourself into their life when they don't want you in their life. If they don't trust you from the beginning, what makes you think that you can allow yourself into their space? I know it may sound kind of like wrong to do that, but trust me, I've seen it a lot to where, you know, when close friends or family, you know, cut you off or they don't want to be around you and you want them to be part of your life, you reach out, you keep reaching out to them, you keep telling them that, oh, come over, spend time with us, and they keep saying no multiple times. I'm not going to waste my time. You know, I've seen it. I've seen people do that to each other. For me, I'm not going to waste my time. It's like, I will leave an open door to you because I'm not cutting you off. I don't want any bad blood, nor do I want us to, you know, disconnect our relationship. But if you feel some type of way, you're hurt because you hurt yourself and you feel some type of way towards me, that's on you. But whenever you're ready to sit down and have a real mature grown-up conversations about what is going on between us, then let me know. You reach out, you know, because at the end of the day, you want to portray yourself to where the argument doesn't faze you at all, that you're over it. And that's what irks these people so much. That's what irks those negative Nancy's and Nates, because yes, they're frustrated, they're mad. And when you are not reciprocating the same attitude, the same energy, it does bother them a lot. Deep down, it does bother them a lot. So I'm pretty sure they want to argue too, but it's not worth it. So, like I said, let them reach out to you first. Don't be the one to reach out, because it just doesn't work that way. I'm just letting you guys know from my experience. Be the ones who have that open meetup, and then if they don't reach out to you, then if there's any holidays or there's any gathering, just keep your distance. That's it. That goes straight to number 6. Create boundaries and protect your energy and your mental health. So when I say to create boundaries and protect your energy and mental health, that doesn't mean you cut them off. No. Like, even if they're your siblings, even if they're your parents, even if they're your close friends or acquaintance, there's no reason to just cut those relationships off. If it is very toxic, where there's verbal, mental, physical, emotional abuse, then that's up to you to set that boundary and tell them that I'm not going to tolerate that. And if they feel a certain type of way, if they think that you're cutting yourself off of them, no, you are creating a safe space for yourself, away from those people who are very abusive. And you got to do what's best for yourself and for your energy and for your mental health. You don't want to be around people who are very abusive, because the more you push yourself into that type of energy, you're going to be soaking up all those negative energy, and it's going to fuck up with your mental health. So I just advise you to just create your boundaries, keep distance, and, only come around when necessary. Don't be around people too much, because, again, you do soak up all of their negative energy, and you don't want that for your mental health. Lastly, number 7, be in control of your emotion. I'm telling you guys, the moment where you are in control of your emotion, you just want the fucking lottery. Like, seriously, the moment when people's view on you and people's attitude, if they're thinking about you, like all those negative shit, like if people are being so mean to you and you don't let that get to you, and you're in control of your emotion, and you're not going to show your anger towards them, it's like it doesn't faze you, then I'm telling you, you won. That's it. You won. I don't know. Like, for me, when I realized that, I can be in control of my emotion. It's like, why would I let negative Nancy's and negative Nates be in control of my emotion? Why do they get to dictate how I feel? Fuck no. I'm not going to let them dictate how I feel. If they want to be mad, they can be mad over there. So I choose to step aside and be in control of emotion. Whatever, any negative things that people have said to me, I'm not going to get mad at them. For what? Because if I get mad at them for the shit that they said to me, then they're in control of my emotion. I don't want that. I'm taking back my control. When you can master your emotion and be in control of it, damn, it's like you don't bother to argue anymore. You just don't bother to make people understand you anymore. It's like you know yourself too well to the point where there's no point of arguing with this stupid motherfucker. There's no point being near negative Nancy's and Nates. It's like you're in peace already. You're in control of your emotion already. And when you have that, you have the power. Damn, like you are the strongest motherfucker ever. Trust me. So those are the points that I have. I know, very quick and easy, but I think overall, I do want to thank all of my negative Nancy's and Nates for, listening to my podcast and sending me all these negative notes. Keep sending them, because I love to read them. I love to, it sounds kind of fucked up, but it makes me feel really like hurt and sad. And I love that feeling, because after getting hurt, I pick myself up and keep creating content. Yeah, like I said, even though I'm talking about it, I am over it. I'm in a different vibration, different stage in my life where I don't want to argue with anyone. I don't want to be, it's okay if people don't understand where I'm coming from. It's okay if I'm not being understood. And it's because they themselves, that's just who they are. They're very selfish. They don't care about nobody but themselves. And they can't empathize. They're not emotionally there. And as much as, you know, if you guys are like me, as much as you point out your issues, you take accountability of what you did wrong and you tell them like what you did wrong. And there are certain things that you said that wasn't right, you know, and you own up to it. But instead of them realizing that, they rather choose to hurt you more by saying a whole bunch of shit that means nothing to you, or doesn't pertain to you, or it's not even you. Just realize that those people are talking about themselves. They don't want to admit to it, but they are talking about themselves. If people say that you're insecure and you're putting yourself out there because of that, or if they call you a narcissist, believe me, like everybody has a narcissist trait in them. The difference between us and them is that we are aware of those narcissist traits and we stop and think, whoa, this is not good. This is a narcissist trait. Compared to them, they will not admit that they have narcissist trait. And that's what narcissist people are. They don't admit to anything. They think that they're always right. So for people to say that you're a narcissist, you have narcissist trait, reality check, maybe you're the narcissist because you're not willing to see what you've done wrong. You rather point fingers at other people. How about you start pointing fingers at yourself? Look at yourself. Figure yourself out before you start bitching at other people. That's how I see it. And also, you know, I've come to a point where, you know what? I am tired being the bigger person. I really am. You know, when like I have like issues and stuff and I talk to other people about it and they say, you know, just be a bigger person and, you know, just drop it, you know, just say sorry or just forgive and just let it go. But guess what, you guys? I can't do that anymore. That was how I was when I was in my last marriage. Why is it that when I say things or do things that offend other people, they get mad and I'm not allowed to say or do those things? But when it comes to them, when I express that, you know, I don't like it how they say these things or do those things, and they get butthurt about it, and I can't tell them, or I can't tell them that I'm feeling a certain type of way, or they don't want to take accountability, I'm just like, fuck that. I'm not going to sit here no more. If they can validate their emotions and they can speak their mind out and tell them that they feel a certain type of way and they don't like how I say certain things, I also matter too. I also can tell them that I don't like the way you said this. You know, you make me feel this way. Like, come on. We're not little babies no more, okay? We are grown adults. And we don't have to argue about this. We could just sit down, listen to each other, understand each other, and then come up with the solutions to it. We don't need to be so bitter. We don't have to be so negative about the situation. And I was like, you know what? Fuck this shit. I'm going to validate my emotion. I'm not going to sweep my emotions under the rug, because when I meet people who are like that, it just reminds me of Lost Boy, where even though I was trying to voice my emotions, how I feel, it wasn't heard. And you know what I did? I just kept quiet and I just brushed everything under the rug and act as if nothing happens. But at the end of the day, I wasn't feeling right. I didn't feel right at all. And when that specific issue happened to me weeks ago, I'm just like, fuck it. Like, I'm just gonna, you know, express my emotion because I deserve it, and because I've never gotten the chance to do that. And for you guys out there who are struggling to voice your opinion and you're tired of being the bigger person, I get it. You have to take back your power. You have to be in control of your emotions. Do not let other people walk all over you. It doesn't matter if they're older than you, they're younger than you, they're a baby, they're grandmas, or even if they're dead. You know, it's like, it doesn't matter who it is. If they are verbally abusing you, emotionally abusing you, mentally abusing you, spiritually abusing you, and physically abusing you, you need to call that shit out. But if they act as if they didn't do anything wrong, then that's up to you. If you want to create that distance, to create that boundary, they can get mad all they want. Like, you're just protecting yourself from them, basically. So yeah, I mean, I can go more into depth, but you know, ever since all that shit happened, and you know, reading people's negative comments, you know, it made me realize that yes, I do have to take accountability if I did something wrong and own up to it. But there will be people out there that will not take accountability. They're going to say a lot of hurtful things towards you because they themselves are hurt. They themselves are going through stuff, and they are not willing to scratch their surface. They're not willing to do the work to heal themselves, to heal their childhood traumas. And they rather just hurt you back because they're hurt. Just think it like that, okay? And as much as you want to know what they're going through, if they're not willing to share it with you, then that's not your problem. You know, if they get mad, that's on them. At the end of the day, don't take it too personal. Once you realize that, and once you know how to master and be in control of your emotion, woo! You don't feel any grudges. You don't like you get over the issue. Like for me, I got over the issue. It was like, cause I understand where that person is coming from, but at the end of the day, it's wrong for you as an individual to talk shit about other people, to bring them down, to write all these negative things about people in general. People who tend to write negative things are people who are dealing with way worse than you. Maybe they are jealous that you're one of those people that's able to heal yourself and continue to heal, and that you're willing to go within yourself to figure out shit out, and they're not. I mean, it's a sad thing when you think about it. It's sad that as much as you want to be there for that person, as much as you want to understand why they are so negative, people are just showing their true colors. Let them just vent and validate their thoughts and emotions. No point of arguing with them. I think when it comes to people online in social media, the other thing that you can do too, I block them. I block them. There's no point of writing your own little message, going back and forth to them. Just block them. It's just easier that way. If it's like close friends and family, like I say, I love my friends, I love my family, you know, but sometimes people just got to get the shit together, and you also have to put them in their lane. And if they're not willing to take accountability, and all they're doing is talking shit about you and what you did and all that stuff, and they're not willing to look at themselves and realize what they've done, just let them show their true colors. Look at their action, look at how they're writing things down, and then you're gonna realize that they weren't really there at all. They weren't really there to support you, and they weren't there to actually be happy that you are doing something good in your life. That's really sad, you guys. All in all, you guys, I am so proud of myself that I realized this. I realized my worth. I realized that I can take control of my emotion, take control of my life. And you know, it's okay if close friends or families aren't part of my life anymore, because I'm not living my life for them. I live my life for myself. And at the end of the day, when I die alone. That's how I see it, you know. It may sound like I'm very selfish. No, it's not. You have to take care of yourself first. None of your friends and none of your families are going to be there to hold your hands and walk with you and figure shit out. Like, you have to do that on your own. Unless you have a partner, then, you know, it's a plus. You know, but if not, and you're single like me, like most of us, that's what we're going to have to do, you know? Your families and friends are just there to sometimes give you advice and to listen. If they are using your own insecurities and your own struggles, and they're basically using that against you, just think about it. They're not really there for you at all. So just think about that and realize that. And you know, just give them space. Give them space. Don't be the one to reach out to them, because you don't want to just keep poking at a balloon that doesn't want to be popped, basically. I don't know what the analogy is, but if you get what I mean, you get what I mean. Yes, other than that, you know, I just want to end this episode with that. And like I said, I do see a change in myself. It's a good change. I realized a lot about myself, and people like to test you, and I do have to say that I am doing a good job at dodging those bullets. It's making me be aware of myself, and I'm very mature about these kind of problems. And of course, when people are shit talkers and they will say, oh, if you have something to say it in my face, but when you do actually want to look at them in the eyes and roast each other and say all these things to each other, they're not willing to meet up. Because you know why? Because they know that they can't face you. They're not willing to have an adult conversation with you. They are also repeating generational curses. I can do a separate episode on that as well. Because in order for us to move forward and break the generational curses, we have to do things that are awkward and uncomfortable. The more we do that, the more easier it is to face any problems in our life. But yeah, I'm at peace. And I do have to pat myself in the back because damn, I'm doing an awesome job. But other than that, let me just end this episode. Again, I want to thank everyone for, always tuning in, always supporting me, even if you are a negative Nancy's or Nate's, I'm okay with that. Just know that you'll get your ass blocked if you write anything negative. But if you do, I'll read it and it'll help support me and it'll help encourage me to do better. But other than that, for those who are very positive, who understands me and have been there from the beginning, I love you guys. And until then, I will see you guys on the next episode. Bye.